Welcome, Better Architects. Today, we're going to be talking about burnout. I have a friend who is a great PM, a great leader to her team, but recently she left her company. And the reason she told me was burnout. I wasn't surprised, and I'm guessing neither are you. First of all, architects, we work hard. A good amount of us work well over 40 hours a week. And that goes all the way back to our training in the architecture programs. If you are like most architecture students, I'm sure you remember the weeks where you have to burn the midnight oil leading up to the big presentation. We used to call it the charrette week. So we're not unfamiliar with hard work and long hours, but I don't think that alone is the contributing factor to burnout. First, what is burnout? Well, a quick Google search will show you that the Mayo Clinic defines burnout as a state of physical or emotional exhaustion that also involves a sense of reduced accomplishment and a loss of personal identity. This tells us that a burnout is not just a result of working too much. If that was the case, we would not have the amount of companies we have today, most of which require an extraordinary amount of time in the beginning. In the definition, notice the sense of reduced accomplishment and the loss of personal identity. That reminds me of the word engagement. Now, engagement is a couple of things. I think it's a combination of how interesting the work is to us, the significance it plays overall, kind of like the purpose, and the fun factor. If work lacks all of this, it becomes dry and mundane. What's interesting about this is that difficult work, which is complex work that requires a lot of thinking to accomplish, is more engaging than easier work. Side note, difficult work is not impossible work. Impossible work is work where you are not adequately equipped with the skills and/or the knowledge to accomplish it. Doing impossible work will make you feel like, kind of stabbing in the dark with no real direction or guidance. Now, if the work is easy, but you don't perceive it as busy work and also it's endless, it can quickly become dry as a cracker without any flavors. You can begin to feel like you're the proverbial CAD monkey, where your only value to the company is for you to do the same work, but much faster. These uninteresting work has a limit in how much of these we can perform. When we execute the same red lines for the 7th time, on someone else's design with no creative freedom of our own, we may run out of steam quickly, and instead the paycheck becomes the primary motivation. Now, combine this unengaging work with great volumes of it, and with added unpaid overtime, you may feel like you're a slave to your work. How like a slave? Well, because you don't enjoy the one-dimensional work, and you feel like you're being silently forced into working overtime against your will. But I have no choice, you think. I have to do it. I have student loans to pay off, I have rent due, I have a family to provide for. Fear of increasing financial burden keeps you locked into this job because finding a difficult job can pose a risk to cutting the flow of your income. We often are more comfortable with the devil we know than the devil we don't. Some of you, I think probably including myself, have a lot more patience for this type of work than others. We have a lot more patience for the people in our company, for the people that ask us to do these things. We are quite patient, patting ourselves in the back, but the patience does run out over time. Whether you're patient or whether you are feeling like you're forced to do this work, there is a sense of discontent, and that discontent grows slowly by the day, which leads into weeks, then into months, and possibly into years. It grows slowly but surely until one day, you're just done. There's going to be an event or some sort of circumstance that becomes the last straw that breaks the camel's back, and it finally breaks your back because you're the camel. And typically you do this out of frustration rather than planning your exit first. It's kind of an emotional response. And also, you might find that you may not like to get another job in architecture, fearing that it's probably going to be the same thing. Point 2. This could be a combination with the first point, engagement, or, this is kind of like the opposite of the first one because, it's about stress. When you're in a high stress state, you're kind of engaged, but you're forced to be engaged for the wrong reasons. Short bursts of stress caused by deadlines can be a good thing. It helps to keep us from slacking off by lighting a fire under us, and also helps us feel accomplished when the deadline is finished. The change of pace keeps the day-to-day from being stale. However, if there is deadline after deadline with no room to relax, the stress can quickly compound, and the constant weight of it will lead you to burnout sooner rather than later. Think about working out. It's putting our body into a state of stress for a short period of time with the emphasis on rest that helps our body recover. Working out without rest is a real quick way to injury. Because the stress of the deadline is more of a mental stress, it's easier to overlook it. Now, there are other factors that contribute to stress, not just the stress within work. Now, combining the internal stress with the stress that's coming from outside of work, because, well, most of us are working from home these days, or at least choosing the option to work from home, we have other stress in our lives in the form of debt, which includes rent, student loans, credit card bills. We also have our spouse. My wife is a teacher and she gets off at 3, and I'm still working. She's probably watching this video, and that's probably as much as I'm gonna say. Working from home might save you time from having to get ready for work, but it also introduces and allows the stress of your home to be more easily combined with the stress of work. I know a few working parents working from home, but have their kids still be sent to daycare because the stress of having them around would drive them crazy. Working in a high stress state will definitely shorten your ability to keep up with your work demands, and you'll run out of gas and begin to run on fumes much sooner. For myself, after 2.5 years of working 100% from home, I still think working in a physical office is a much better place to work because it allows me to keep the stresses of work and the stresses of home separate. Now, if you found this information useful, I would appreciate if you like and subscribe. Also, hit the bell notification icon below so that you don't miss out on future videos. Now, finally, we come to the last point, which is physical limitations. Let's say you love your work, you are engaged, this is your dream job, and you are excited to wake up every morning to continue to work on the awesome project that you're on. First of all, congratulations, because the other 99% of us aren't as blessed. And you truly are in the top 1%, working in your dream job, living the American dream. With this kind of work, sustainability is based on your mental and physical ability to perform at the levels that your job requires. Being physically fit, getting enough sleep, having your non-work related stress factors managed will help keep you doing what you love for years to come. If you are blessed with such a great working condition, please share your experience and the tips in the comments below on how you got there. Now, I think I'm rambling on a little bit too long in this video. So stay tuned for part 2 of this video where we're going to talk about... Hey guys, Future Sony here. And kind of an interesting thing. I kind of was really excited about making the video and wrapped up and started editing before I finished what I was trying to say. Anyways, the next video is going to be dropping soon. Don't know when right now, but I'm trying to not be a perfectionist so I can get these videos out to you sooner rather than later. Now, whether or not you watch it, that's really up to you. I'm not forcing you to watch it, but if you like the content and want to make me feel better and help motivate me to produce better videos, please leave a like down there and subscribe with the notification bell. I appreciate it, and see you next time.